middle school and 3 elementary schools during the last 2 weeks of August. What this says, in the past, we've opened the schools right up oftentimes to Labor Day. It is oftentimes extremely difficult to have our custodians to be able to get in there and do the work that's necessary without incurring overtime costs. So this is a way to save overtime costs. And lastly, the committee, again, this is another fee-based, was a late fee if the bus fee is paid after August 15th. I know there were some questions about that. I think to generate $10,000 may be somewhat liberal, because many people will probably decide to get their bus fees or get bus passes before the 15th. But if I've done the math right, Carl's probably going to tell me.
307,000.
What?
307,000.
I got 400.
I think it's 400 something.
I got 470 just off the top of my head. How much?
325.
Yeah,
Really?
That's about what I have. I got three.
I don't know if I heard that.
That's about what I have too.
Well,
Oh, I
Carl's
had
got
it.
the
You know what I did? I
calculator.
had it
Let's
in
ask
the,
Carl.
All right.
The curriculum chairs there. That's what I
You look a
did.
little silly. I have.
I know. He didn't go through those. Yeah.
So, if I may quickly summarize these, so I know I have the right number. Number 1 for 9706.
Yep.
Number 2 for 16,000.
Yep.
Number 3 for 30,800.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Number 6 for 128,583.
Correct.
Number 12 for 32,000.
Mm-hmm.
Number 16 for 10,000.
Yep.
Number 17 for 35,000.
Right.
Number 18 for 17,500.
Mhm.
Number 19 for 70,000.
Oh, I didn't hear.
I'm
Oh.
sorry, I forgot that one. Yes,
Okay.
important.
Okay.
Number 19, 70,000. The committee, I think we presented this. This would be no
That brings you about
purchases
400,
of
yeah.
new
That's-
checks.
That brings you close to
I
400.
had that one plus.
So 19 for 70,000.
Yeah.
Number 20 for 56,000.
No, he didn't
No,
say that
Oh,
either.
no,
I
that
didn't
was
see
not
that
in there
in.
either. That was not.
I did not put that.
You did not. Excuse me.
Okay.
Okay. I was anticipating. Then
Don't assume it. Yeah.
I have 357,089. I'll check that.
I've got 377,089, but and I did that in my head.
Can I ask you about 14 and
Funny if you
15,
were
if you
right.
could just explain to us what that would result in, because those are pretty big numbers.
Actually,
And I had added those in myself.
Yeah, actually, let me go back on this. All right, let me look at item number 13 as well. Item number 13 is reduce high school music teacher. We're not reducing a person per se, but we offer in our program, we say to our students in the high school, right now they take 8 classes over 2 days, and that if you then sign up for the elective of band, you take that every day during the power block. So for students at band, they're taking 9 classes. In addition, 1 evening a week, there is a jazz band stage. There's a jazz band. And it meets 2.5 hours, 1 night a week. So that's equivalent to a teaching section. We're suggesting that those 2 programs be put into the regular schedule, and if a student wants to take instrumental music, band at the high school, they would take it as one of their electives.
They could also use the grade point average.
Don't go there.
And
Already he sees an issue about.
They
Don't
could put that in the grade point average.
Why?
All right, good.
So that's the explanation for,
So
Put it back
right
up
now,
to
David,
this.
they don't pay a fee to be part
No.
of that evening?
no, they don't.
And are they graded on that?
They are graded.
They are graded, so that's why you
Correct.
can't charge.
That's correct.
So it's a 9th course?
It would be a 10 course.
It's a 10. But not everybody who takes band participates in the jazz.
Correct.
So what you're saying is would if you did this, they would be limited to 8 courses and one of them would have to be either jazz band or, is band the other one? Is just regular stage
Or
band?
run it
Or
as
pick
an
it up as an
extracurricular
elective,
activity.
yeah, or run. See, that's what I'm thinking, if you would lose students, if they, in their,
Very well.
if we lower the requirements and they're limited in their electives, they won't get both. But if we run it after school and they pay a fee, then at least they have,
I'm not recommending that one, by the way, I'm just
Okay.
explaining that, and now, Jerry, you asked
I asked
about.
about
even
the
if you don't, I
curriculum.
think we should consider it for.
14 and 15, the building curriculum, restructure the building curriculum leadership, what does that involve?
Oh,
What are the
we really
consequences?
don't, it's not on my list, at least in this
All right.
form. I think we need to, I think we will have to step back and look at, this is department heads. We, last year, eliminated, put them all to 100% teaching load. They normally have, most of them have some kind of a reduced teaching load, and they get a stipend. This
Now-
is the math department head, the science department head, the history
Now,
department head.
14 is eliminate, and then 15 is restructuring, and those are two pretty big numbers there.
Well, there are two pieces to it. One, and you'll see, it'll be clearer when we look at the staffing report, that the content area, the academic, math, science, English, history, business, world language, they have a reduced teaching load. So this is equivalent to if you put those department heads who teach 80% to 100%, they're picking up another class, and therefore you would be reducing another part of the teacher's schedule. So it's the equivalent, I believe it's the equivalent to 1.8 positions. The item number,
14.
no, item number
15,
15. Yeah.
So
So
Carl,
item number 14 reflects the stipends. And item number 15 reflects
they'd be
the
teaching more, okay.
But someone else
Right.
would lose their
Right.
position. I think we calculated this, there are 4 positions in middle school: math, science, history, and English, that's 0.8. And then at the high school, math, English, science, social studies, business, and world language, that's 1.2. So, actually, our middle school right now, 3 of them have a reduced teaching load, so I think it comes to 1.8.
So Carl, what's the total of David's, I guess I want to classify these as,
First.
I wouldn't say
First cuts.
reductions you're comfortable with or reductions you could tolerate. I mean, what's the best way to,
It's his
First
first round.
cuts.
but last week, the first, see, this is why I'm confused. Last week, the first round we got was, these were not recommendations, we
Right.
discussed, was $1,284,000. So now we're down to 300 something.
No, he's reducing the 1.2 by 300.
No,
I'm
no,
not
it's
doing
not.
neither. I'm still, level 1, I'm still recommending if there is a gap, keep in mind, we have been operating on a gap between the level services budget and available funds. And that gap appears to be about $1.7 million between the
Well, it's about 1.2.
Well, no, well, it's come down apparently based on changes in revenue
Right,
that we've learned recently at
right, okay.
but
It
going
was
back in
1.7,
time,
right.
it was 1.7.
Right.
And that is based on the preliminary budget that we passed out in December
Mhm.
for level services. And the available funds at one point was about 1.7 million. So at the last meeting, in an effort to start to put my hands around that very large number, I, working with the administrators over the month of January, put forward 1.284, almost $1.3 million worth of level 1 possible reductions. The 24 items that are on here. Now, instead of 1.7 million, at least as of last Friday, and we have a long way to go in terms of, you know, the House 1 budget is out. We know, you know, that there's some recommendations. We know what the governor's budget, a lot of that is also with great assumptions built around it. We have cherry sheet, which at least would reflect, you can get a sense of how much is going to be reduced in aid.
Right.
We are waiting to hear about what the federal stimulus package will look like, and there was great hope that there would be some additional money for IDEA, special education. But today, the Senate version shows that that is significantly gone.
Right.
And in fact, this morning, Superintendents Merrimack Valley and North Shore met with Congressman Tierney to try to get a better handle on what's happening at the federal level. And even with that special education money, even if it all was passed, the tags on that money was not free money that would come directly into
No.
our budget. It was defined as money that would supplement, not supplant. And there would be very definite accountings on how you could use that money. So that at the first blush, it's like, oh, well, there's almost another $400,000 that we're going to be able to offset special education salaries and use money for regular ed. Well, that doesn't appear to be true at this point, or at least we're going to have to wait and see. So I'm trying to go through this to say out of, you know, it may be not 1.7 million, but it might be 1.3 million somewhere, even in the best case scenario. And so I'm trying to push us in a direction of thinking long and hard about, are there some things, while I'm offering them up reluctantly, I don't like the idea of shortening the school day, a school year rather. I think we should be going the other way. But we've made that decision in the calendar, and so we might as well say that we project a certain number of, a certain amount of savings here. I have to rely on Chris Danjo when she says programmatically, if this is something she feels we can do, we've done it before. Item number 16, I'm confident that we'll be successful, so we might as well start to build it into our budget.
Right, that's what I'm saying. The ones you gave us tonight are ones that we should start building into the budget now. The other ones, if we have to, we will, but these,
It's like the pyramid, these are the ones that
Right.
are
That's
going
right.
first.
I would say at this point, in order to start building the budget, it would be my recommendation to start counting them.
and they total somewhere around 400,000, right?
357.
Okay.
So
Even?
these are the first level
089.
Oh,
cuts.
89?
These are the,
If, we need all of these things, but these are cuts that we would take out first.
Right.
Yeah,
If we had to, right. Well, right, start, right.
When you have no money, you have to.
start somewhere.
Okay.
Can I ask a question, David? On, I know you don't want to do it either, to lose that much curriculum leadership. It's just, it was a step backwards from what we had. Would we be able to pay stipends to staff members to be department heads after school hours? And do teachers look for part-time jobs? Because that to me would be something that you would pay them to do after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so that you can get the benefit of the full teaching load, but spend some money to get. Or do you have another plan in mind?
no, I'll give you an example. I mean, we have a brand-new curriculum chair, department head in English here. And we have a department that, when you look at longevity and the number of years that people have been in that department, it's relatively short. And so, and on top of it, we've added a number of new teachers. So to be able to work directly in the classroom with those teachers to support them we feel that there should be